In today's video, I'm going to go over some of my tips and tricks that helped me post rotator cuff surgery. And some of them are geared towards women. Some of them are geared towards issues that I had being a small woman wearing this big abduction pillow. And so I'll just tell you what I have been doing, what's worked for me. Again, this is not medical advice, so if I talk about anything that you're unsure of, make sure you talk to your own doctor or physical therapist about, because I did clear everything through my physical therapist or my doctor. Okay, so I am about 4.5 weeks going on to my 5th week post rotator cuff surgery. Yay! So I have a little list here of things that really helped out. Some of them you've heard of before, some of them you haven't, or you may not have, let's just say, depending how much research you do. Okay, the first one is, of course, the recliner. So I do think a recliner is a must. If you can't afford a recliner, maybe you have somebody that has one in the basement or something that might be able to lend it to you for a couple of weeks. I think you just need a basic recliner. I bought one since we didn't have one. We purchased one that reclined flat and then also had the lift assist. Don't need either of those. I mean, one thing, the whole point of being in the recliner is so you're not lying flat. So just a regular recliner will work. And so don't add extra things that you don't need. You might want to sit in it, see how wide it is. Being a 5'4", petite person, even a standard recliner was a little bit too wide for me. I could not comfortably rest both arms on the armrest. And so if I rested my operated on arm, it was too high. The armrest was too high, kind of shrugged my shoulders just a little bit. And you wouldn't think it was much. I mean, when I tested it out before surgery, I didn't think it was really anything. But after surgery, you notice when you're kind of shrugging your shoulders. So you definitely want to, adjust. I found it easier to lean on my non-surgical side and put pillows in between that arm to support me. Now that brings me to the next thing. I actually love this little travel pillow. I bought this one on Amazon to actually travel. It's kind of all those little foam pieces inside, so I could fluff it up or I could flatten it and I could kind of reshape it. And when I was sitting in the recliner, it was that perfect height. It had the dreaded abduction pillow, and it sits way below, this much below my arm. So I could put this pillow like this underneath my arm. It wasn't necessarily underneath the abduction pillow, but to kind of give myself a little bit more support. It also was more comfortable just to put just a regular pillow. I didn't want a super fluffy pillow, so we just had one in our guest room that wasn't super fluffy, and I could stick it, just kind of behind my shoulder. I didn't really necessarily want it behind my back that much, but just my shoulder. So when I was slightly reclined, my shoulder wasn't moving or kind of relaxing back in the socket. It was just staying in that kind of neutral position. So I would get a recliner before surgery, and I would also get a cold therapy machine before surgery. This is still full of water and water bottles. So this is the Polar. Yeah, so it's the Polar Arctic 3.0 with remote control. I love my cold therapy machine. If you have pain, I had somebody comment that they just had surgery. It was really painful for them. I mean, I sure hope she's using a cold therapy machine, because you can put this on and leave it on and just, be icing, 40 on, 20 off, 40 on, 30 off, whatever you need. The ice really numbs the pain. So I think that's really important. Again, I like this one because it did have the remote control that turned it both on and off, so you could set how much time in between that you needed it off. It fit 6 frozen water bottles, and so I don't think we've ever changed the water. I think the original water level from like 5 weeks ago. But what we would do, they're starting to melt because I've had them sitting here for a little bit. What we would do was we would freeze 6 water bottles, and we just keep them in a bag like this because then it was really easy for me if I needed to switch out the water bottle to just grab a bag, take out with one hand, take out the water bottles that are in there, and I had a towel on the floor. So I took out the water bottles, laid them on the towel, kind of rolled them a little bit to get the water off, put them in another bag, and then I just kept swapping bags. So it made it really easy going back and forth to switch up the water bottles. Another reason why I like this Polar Ice, and I talked about this in one of my videos, I think might have been day 3. I liked this one because it had the shoulder pad, as opposed to a lot of them seem to have the knee pad. Part of me often wondered if the knee pad would have fit around my neck, it might have worked with my small shoulders. These were kind of a pain. The Velcro, you'll find the Velcro on everything, it just sticks everywhere. The Velcro is sticking to itself, the Velcro is sticking to your abduction pillow. Obviously, the first couple of days you would, have somebody helping you put this on. But I found, being small, that I would, instead of wrapping the bicep around my bicep, because if I did that, then this whole part right here stuck out from my shoulder, and I didn't feel like the top of my shoulder was getting any ice, which is actually where my incisions are and where it was actually aching. But if I tucked this under, and I'm just going to do it like this, right here. I tucked it under like this, and then I put, these shoulder pads, these Velcro sticks everywhere, and then this came up under my arm and went like this. So it made a nice, tight little shoulder pad that fit on my narrow shoulders. And then this long Velcro, much easier in the recliner where I had everything set up, but this long strap that went under my arms came up over the shoulder. So it kind of held everything down like this. So then I had a small shoulder pad, and so I liked this Polar Ice cold therapy machine because this worked really well for me, getting ice right here, the 2 areas that I really felt in the outside of my bicep, the 2 areas I really felt like I needed to be iced. Okay, so I love that. Love doing the frozen water bottles, carrying them back and forth. I went and bought all this pump shampoo, pump everything, pump lotion, pump body wash, and in our shower, we have one of those a shower rack that hangs under the shower head. So it's actually kind of hard to pump because when I pumped, it would push one side and kind of swing the whole thing. So I really liked Live Nature shampoo bars. They have them for all different hair types. This one here is dry frizzy hair. This one is for normal hair. They smell really good, but what's nice is it's one-handed. They have both the bar shampoo and conditioner, but you just pick the bar up, rub it. You can go on the underside. For me, because I have longer hair, then I could just kind of do this and rinse out, and it rinsed really clean. The conditioner, for me, I would kind of do it like this, except I'd do it on my other shoulder. I would go like this. Sometimes I'd go twice just to make sure that I had it all through my hair. Real simple. Again, even 5.5 weeks later, I still prefer to use the bar to shampoo my hair. It's just easier. Even when I could pump it, then I had like a pump of shampoo and I'm trying to do this, and then I don't know, and then I'm trying to do this. It's just easier with a bar. So I like the shampoo bar. I get them on Amazon. I will have links. I think almost everything I got at Amazon, and I'll have links in the description box. Here's something again for women. Hair turban. So when I got out of the shower, bath towel was just really heavy and I couldn't twist it around my hair with one arm. Yeah, it was too heavy to manipulate. So I would get out of the shower, flip my hair over, put this turban back here. See if I can show you. Do this. Do it with one hand. It's easier when your hair is wet. Close it up. Twist it. Like I said, easier when the hair is wet. And then it's got a little elastic band here. and then it had a button, so then I would just button it. So my hair is actually inside it all because it was wet, and then I would take a hand towel and just dry off. So I found these little hair turbans, and they were like a 3-pack, really, really helpful. Also, I would put my hair up. It wasn't quite as neat, just like that, when I was trying to wash my face at night. And I just didn't want everything my hair falling in my face while I'm trying to do one-hand splashing. Yeah, so I did like the hair turban. Oh, here's another thing for women. Undergarments. I really liked these stretchy, very soft, stretchy bras. I went up 2 sizes so I could just step in them and pull them up. If you are more well endowed, you know, it might not be as much support, but the reason why I like these and this particular brand, because it wasn't the same with all of them, is it has a really wide band, and so it never rolled or dug in. It was just very comfortable and easy for me to just step into and wear. I wore them all the time. I'm still wearing them. I love them. Oh, just another tip from me. Once I decided I was going to go on Motrin, I was initially taking 4 tablets every 8 hours because I was like, okay, you know, I can remember to take it 3 times a day. But then I found when I was waking up in the middle of the night, it wasn't time for Motrin. And I was starting to get achy, but it might be another 2 hours before I could take Motrin. So I found taking 600 milligrams or 3 tablets every 6 hours was more comfortable for me. So by the time it started wearing off, I was ready or getting close within the hour of my next dose. Now, talk to your doctor about Motrin. My doctor said it was not his drug of choice, but he said that if that's what kept the pain from coming, then to go ahead and do it. They have said that it can slow tendon healing, you know, it can upset your stomach, so make sure you talk to your doctor about that. I don't know what other medication you may be on. Sometime between week 3 and week 4, I stopped taking it at night, and I haven't taken anything since. I had my big gauze pad taken off day 2, and they put waterproof bandages on, and my physical therapist cleared me to take a shower starting day 2. I did purchase a shower sling because I saw so many videos that talked about how great a shower sling was, because you don't want to get this sling wet. So here's a shower sling. It's just real thin. My issue with the shower sling was the way the Velcro was. Okay, so it barely, I mean, it's not supporting my arm. So, and I could try and take the Velcro almost all the way back so it's only overlapping just a teeny bit. I didn't want it to overlap so tiny that I was afraid in the shower it would fall off, you know, because I didn't know what would happen if my arm just dropped. But here it's only overlapping half an inch, and it's still not providing any support for my arm. So it, the first day I kind of wore it, and I was, you know, reshifting, kept trying to lift it back and everything, but it's a dead weight on my shoulder right now. It wasn't comfortable, so I only used it for 2 days, 3 days, and then finally I just started showering and left my arm straight down the side, which my physical therapist said that was fine, because he actually wanted me to have my arm straight down the side, you know, for 5 minutes a day, you know, 2 or 3 times a day. Okay, let's talk the dreaded sling/abduction pillow. I mean, these slings are not fit for petite people. So what I would do, I'll just show you what I did. This is one of the straps that came with my water thing. And I just squeezed this as tight as possible and put the strap on the back. So instead of it being 4 inches pushing under my arm, which was so uncomfortable, put my arm to sleep, it's just awful. And when you sat down, instead of the abduction pillow for being behind you, then the widest part was pushed underneath your arm. I made it a lot smaller. And I actually even had it smaller than this because I took the thumb strap And I was squeezing it over the end, and you might need, somebody to help you with it. But I actually had them, well, I did it a little bit different, but I kind of had this point really small. The one that was really going under my arm was really small. Now, the next day after I first did it, and it was so much more comfortable because, again, I'm a small person. You put it like this, trying to sleep, I'm like this. It is not comfortable. But then here, it was the right 45-degree angle, and so it really helped me. I asked my physical therapist about it the next day. I showed him, and he said that was, actually pretty smart, and he might recommend it to other people, small. And then I asked my doctor about it too when I went for my 2-week post-op, and he said the same thing. That was great. No issues at all that I did that. So it probably was at the 3-week point before I figured out how to adjust this to be the most support for my arm. And I would readjust everything, kind of loosen everything up a little bit before I went to bed. So I was adjusting my pillow twice a day. Twice a day that first week. Okay, so what I found was the most comfortable for me was to actually, without the abduction pillow, see, this isn't really supporting down here, without the abduction pillow, I could lift and pull till it was supported nicely. Now, this is actually too high up in the front. Okay, so slight incline. I feel like I'm being supported at the elbow. So I would do it without the abduction pillow, and then I would add the abduction pillow. And to me, that was the secret, because when they were trying to fit it with my arm over the abduction pillow, it was always too loose. Once it's adjusted, you can take it off, put it back together. Again, not medical advice. Talk to your doctor, physical therapist. But boy, for comfort level, and actually getting it so it felt like I was supported during the day. Now, I don't know if you noticed, again, being a small person, my abduction pillow is not at the rib cage, and that was the issue. My abduction pillow is actually across my chest. And so that was why I just think these things, they're not made to go squish your chest. They're made to go under your chest. But, being short-waisted, smaller person, that's what the issue was. But now I feel support right here, which I normally, for the first 2.5, almost 3 weeks, I didn't have any support. Just a couple more things. That first week, my back, I was so surprised. When I woke up, I was still in the hospital, and that muscle underneath my shoulder blade, that I was always trying to dig things into, I would take a racquetball in a pillowcase and kind of roll up against a wall. The pillowcase is key. But I was hoping that was the most uncomfortable. That's what made it really hard to sleep prior to shoulder surgery for me. And as soon as I came to, still in the hospital, that's what I felt. I still could feel it there. And I was so bummed. Though I don't feel it anymore, so that's really good. But, one of these things, really great for digging in right into those spots. This is really good whether or not you've had shoulder surgery or not. But I had this just kind of hooked on the arm of my recliner, and every time that muscle was bothering me, I just kind of get in it with this little hooky thing. Oh, after I got my stitches out, I didn't get my stitches out. They never took my stitches out. But after my 2-week appointment, when they took off the waterproof bandages, then I put Scar Away. So it's just these little, almost like bandages, and then you cut them, and then you put them on. So I have the 4 scars. I have 1, 2, this little one on the top of my shoulder. I don't know if you can see it. And then another little one here. So when I initially did it, I had it on all of them. And then after, I think almost a week, I was like, took it off. Maybe not a week, 5 days. I took it off. I was like, I just didn't want a bunch of squares because I was going outside with the sleeveless shirt on. And so then I just left it on my major incision. And then after a week, I took this off. And the scar was so much flatter than this one up front after just that week. So then I put one back on up here. Yeah, so you can, the scars are really small, really hard to see right now, but I do think wearing this scar away, it's silicone, medical grade silicone, I think it really helps on the incision. So, and I probably still should put tiny ones up on those other scars, but love this. I did see a big difference between the two scars. The biggest one looked better than the medium one when the medium one did not have the scar away. So, another thing for styling hair one-handed, you know, one of these one-handed stylers are like $35 sometimes, at sometimes less, somewhere between $25 and $40 depending if they're on sale. They have them at Walmart or Target or Amazon. What I do is I first of all blow dry my hair till it's halfway dry or almost dry, and then I have to hold this between my knees to turn it on, and then I just do this one-handed blow drying, and that's how I've been styling my hair. And I think that's it. When you start your physical therapy, I got this cane. It folds down in two pieces. So I like this one. I mean, you can raise and lower it. So it's at its lowest position now, which I probably need to raise it for my physical therapy. This is super lightweight though. So it's great for travel. I don't, you know, my arm doesn't get tired with it. So I did like this cane, and I like the handle. I like the handle to hold on to. I think it was 20 bucks on Amazon. I think that's it. Those are my hints and tips and tricks for post rotator cuff surgery. Hopefully you learned something new. Best of luck to you if you or someone you know is about to go through this surgery. Again, I'm at 4.5 weeks. I have a ton of videos to post. I just have to get them edited, but I just thought this one would be something different that people might be looking for right away before I get into my daily diary or weekly diary on how I'm feeling. This video kind of encompasses all the good bits. So anyways, I'm glad you were here. Go ahead and check out my playlist with the rotator cuff videos if you are going through this surgery. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we see you again.